Greetings, friends and future friends. Today I want to show you my vocal booth. The external part of it is carpeted over 2x4 structure. We have about 4 inches of insulation in it, and it's pretty well insulated for the sound from the outside coming into it. We also put in a window, but eventually what happened is the window got replaced with a video monitor, and we can use that monitor for other things in the studio. Coming into the vocal booth, it's pretty cut and dry. We have a microphone and a monitor. One of the coolest things is having a monitor in your sound booth. Too many hours have been spent trying to get rid of a paper sound or a phone sound out of a great killer vocal track. This way, we can control anything on that screen from the laptop outside, and then vocals, or whether they have to do something with a video, we can do it right there on the monitor, and they can record their killer vocal track. Inside the studio, we're using Neumann mics. I got a 103 here. But one cool thing is, of course, you need your pop screen. The pop screen does two things. One, it gets rid of those disturbing pops in the mic, but also keeps anything from getting inside the mic. The other thing it's cool, and something, now for this mic, it's always been in this studio. And it sits in here for maybe years at a time sometimes because we use the vocal booth. One thing you want to do is always put your mics upside down. If you look at it, what will happen is there's always some sediment of dust that builds up in these studios. And what will happen is the dust will fall from the top of the mic down and hit the floor. If you have the mic set up the other way, the dust will settle on the grill and then work its way into the caps. That way you keep your mic dust free. Another thing to keep in mind when you're in your sound booth, for me, I do a lot of solo work. So I want to set the video or I want to change the lyrics. I can do it with this trackball inside the vocal booth. In other words, I can change what I want on that monitor right there with the use of that mouse right there, or that trackball. It's very handy, especially when you're doing multiple tracks. So one thing you gotta have in a vocal booth is a good set of headphones. And I've always used the 7506 Sony headphones. The great thing about them is you can get the vented pads. And with the vented pads, you can wear these things for hours and still be comfortable. But the most important thing is this right here. And that is having a good mixing system. Now you have a little 4-channel type mixing thing going on here. The blue knob is the vocal mic, and the red knob is any kind of a track that's coming into those headphones. In other words, whether it be a video track or a music track, the person that's inside this vocal booth can adjust the sound of that track and the sound of their mic to where they're comfortable. They can even pan it left and right if they want to. This is very handy. It also has an ability to increase the volume of the headphones or the master so you can increase everything, but that's one essential thing that you really need in a good vocal booth. This way, your client or your person, or for me, being in here for hours at a time, I can adjust the volume without having to go back to the mixer or an external source. Another very important thing is the lighting in your vocal booth. Make sure it's either fluorescent or LED. You want plenty of lighting so you can see everything, but you want definitely a source of light that doesn't create heat, because when you're in there for a while, it shall get warm. Also, to add comfort to your client or yourself as you're in here recording, is to build a small shelf down here. This small shelf will allow you to put your drinks on it, or anything you need, because we know doing vocal work, you need to stay hydrated, and this is the best way to do it. Another thing that's very important when you're building your vocal booth is how you mount your mic. Now, this is a regular standard mic stand that I built brackets to, and it's actually being supported onto the wall. The brackets go up. If you see, there's some brackets up on top and brackets down below. This mic is actually suspended off the floor about 4 inches. What does that mean? That means when you have foot traffic, if someone's really getting into their vocal track and they start pounding their foot on the floor, That vibration won't be transferred up into the microphone. A simple thing, but is very important, is to get yourself a small tower fan. The tower fan will put air into the vocal booth when you're in there recording. You can crack the door, fire up the fan, get some nice cool air blowing in there, and then shut the door when you're ready to make that final recording. It really helps when you're doing a long session. Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this video on the vocal booth. It might help you on building a vocal booth or maintaining your vocal booth you already have. Take care, my friends.